71% of Americans worry that AI will lead to permanent job loss. That's according to a recent Reuters Ipsos poll. According to the data, though, that isn't necessarily happening. The labor market has remained pretty stable, with the share of workers that are in jobs highly exposed to AI holding steady, as according to a different survey from the Yale Budget Lab. Our next guest has insight into how AI is changing the job market. We've got Allison Srivastav, an economist at Indeed. Allison, thanks for being here. So there is all of this sort of confusion and debate, and there's sort of anecdotal stories, but then there's what's really happening. What's really happening? How, especially for entry-level workers, how is AI transforming or not the job market?
So I think what's really interesting about the report that we looked at for AI in relation to jobs is that we took it as a set of skills, right? Rather than jobs, whether or not they'll be taken by AI or adopted. You can think of a job as a set of different skills, and some of those skills can be handled by Gen AI pretty well, and there's others that really can't. And so I think that thinking about things in terms of what skills can you leverage as a person and which skills can you really use AI to leverage and show that you can adopt both.
And so what did you all conclude then as a result of looking at it as skills-based?
So there is quite a big variation across sectors, but about 46% of jobs have some kind of hybrid integration. So AI is certainly going to impact your job, a lot of the skills within your job, but not necessarily take your job in whole. And so trying to figure out, what sets of skills within your job can be outsource, as it were, using Gen AI, as opposed to where you really do need that human touch, I think can kind of help you navigate that fear around AI in the job market.
And so, for people who are out there looking for jobs, what advice, could they draw from this study as to what they need to do, what skills they need to develop, whether that be AI or some of the so-called soft skills?
So I think that this is where, people have a really big advantage because AI is pretty new, right? It's not really worked into a lot of course curriculum. So a lot of the training that you can do to adopt AI skills and have employers really accept those AI skills can be done at home, can be done independently. So I do think that there is an opportunity there for people. If I were on the job market today, I'd probably be looking at where can I really integrate AI into everyday tasks, improve that. So even things as simple as helping write emails or annotating notes from meetings, showing that you are adaptable, that you can change with the times and really use it, but still show why it's important for you to man the ship, as it were. We know that Gen AI isn't nearly as adept at making problem-solving decisions or networking. So I think of AI adoption in really that twofold.
What are the skills? I mean, we're looking at it right now, actually. This is answering my question I was going to ask you. The jobs where we could see the highest level of transformation. Talk me through those.
Sure. So these are going to be jobs where there's not a lot of in-person interaction and, a lot of more repetitive tasks. The reason why insurance is a big one is because, it's a lot of filing, filling out forms, a lot of that more in-office work. And that does definitely have a higher probability of having, more of a hybrid approach.
Well, and the hybrid, I think of also medical professions, law professions, where we have started to see AI assistants reading x-rays, for example, if I take the medical, or if you're writing a legal brief and you're using AI to help you do the research. I guess this is all just about people learning to use those tools in their jobs to be better at them.
Learning to use those tools to be better at your jobs and also showing why you are still needed. If I were, say, as an economist, I'm going to be focusing on, I can have AI help me problem solve some code or something like that. But really being able to interpret labor market data and show why it matters, that's something that, I'm going to be leaning into as an economist, is like, this is more of a human skill. And I think that most people's jobs kind of have that twofold approach it. You can really look at what can Gen AI help me with, and what can I prove that a human really is necessary for this task.
Allison, finally, on Indeed, are you all seeing any reduction in listings for entry-level jobs? Not necessarily that the jobs would be eliminated by AI, but maybe companies are hiring fewer people because AI is making the people who are being hired more productive.
We recently looked at jobs that have senior versus junior titles, and what we found is that while junior titles are decreasing, they're not really decreasing more than job titles overall. It's really hard to disentangle because we have a cooling labor market. So, really being able to say this is because of AI and this is because of labor market cooling, that's going to be incredibly difficult. But where we're really seeing right now is that it's more of overall labor market cooling. It's overall that because we have a really frozen labor market, trying to get into the labor market for the first time, especially if you are a new graduate, new high school graduate or college, you're probably having a really hard time breaking in because there aren't that many opportunities.
Allison, thanks so much for your perspective. Appreciate it.
Thank you.